Hello, good evening, welcome to Easy 8's Online Painting Club. My name's Danny, and for the next 2 hours I'll be here with you, painting my minis, providing you with some quintessential company and hopefully motivation to get your miniatures painted as well. I can see that in the live chat, because I'm a little bit late this evening, sorry for that. I can see that some people already talking, sharing some success stories already, which is absolutely fantastic. That's exactly what I want to be hearing. And congratulations that you're getting some stuff done. I can see that Kez is feeling better than last week, which is always a good thing to start with. So glad to hear that you're feeling better, Kez. We've got Adrian who's coming. It says, how's everyone's projects coming along? Hi, Adrian. Thanks for coming. Table of Horrors also there. Hi, Table of Horrors. We got Kez has started on Clan Jade Falcon mechs tonight because you finished off your Smoke Jaguar ones. They were really cool, by the way. Saw the photos of those. I really like the red accents against the silver. You weren't too keen on the silver. Apparently you were going to adjust the silver by putting some filters over it. I'd love to know how that turned out. Table of Horrors has completed the Dreadnought today. First time using magnets, and I agree with Kez. Magnets are fun, and you know what? Just because of that comment, later on, after the intermission, because I never leave the chair, I'll go and get my Dreadnought that I magnetised, one of my first magnetising projects, ages and ages ago, and I haven't done an awful lot of magnet stuff, but I was really proud of it and really, really happy with it. I think my painting's come a long way since I did that project. So it'll kind of like be going back in time a little bit for my standards, but I'd love to share it with you, so I'm glad to hear that that's something you've got. We've also got Jeff. Hi, Jeff. This week, doing something a little bit different, because I've been working on my King Tiger project recently, and tonight I'm not going to be continuing that project because I want some better paints for that. So we're going to a show tomorrow. I say we, me, and the Easy 8 community, some of you guys out there, and anyone else that wants to join along. We're going to the Plymouth Wargame Show, run by the Plymouth Association of Wargamers. I must get that right. I keep calling it something else, but it's Paws. We call it Paws. But we're going down there tomorrow. We're leaving early, and I'm looking to hopefully get some new paints for this. If I can't get any there, then I'm going to get some online because the camouflage colours just really aren't working for me, and I want them to, so I have to get some new ones. Tonight I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and all day I've been thinking, what am I going to do on the show? I can't start a new project, and it's going to take me 3, 4, 5 weeks, whatever to do, and then come back to this, and I've forgotten what I'm going to be doing. So I've got something a little bit off-piste, a little bit different. It's revisiting an old thing that I never got around to, so yeah, I'm looking forward to having a good old play with it. And it's just 2 little minis, one little project. It's probably going to take me all day, and I'm probably going to ruin it, and it's going to look naff, but it's going to look a lot better than what I've got down there because I can see it now, and it looks gross. Anyway, if you like what we do here, please do consider subscribing to the show. Every little subscription really goes such a long way to making this community grow, and that's what it's all about. It's all about you guys out there having someone to paint along with live. Getting it wrong, I'm not like a tutorial show or anything like that. There's loads of that stuff already out there. I'm just not that good, but it's about having a company. It's a painting club. Bring your little projects along, share it with the guys over here and myself. I'd love to hear more about it. We're not just here on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're also on Discord. So if you want to come and have a chat with me and some of the guys live on a video later on, you can join the Discord Easy 8 After Party. I got that the first time. Yeah. And you can have a chat with me on video, or just type in if you like, share some pictures, etc. I actually got to see some Table of Horrors Blood Angels last week. I keep forgetting that he was putting them up there, and I saw them, and I love them. I think they're great. So yeah, subscribe, share the word, get Easy 8's name out there. Knew I was going to trip over something. So the reason that I'm a little bit late today is because I thought I'd go make myself a cup of tea before I started. You remember a couple of weeks ago, Grant from Overlord Games made me an Easy 8 Online Painting Club mug. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea. I was pushing it a bit close, and I poured it in my other cup. So I sat down, I was like, I've got an empty cup of tea, what have I just done with it? So I had to do an ugly switch over thing. I wanted my mug, man. It's a gift. Of course I'm going to have it on the screen. And I'm getting tea stains everywhere. Amateur. Anyway, please subscribe to the show. It'll make my day. Staff's joined us. Hi, Stafford. Hi, all. Sorry. Been cleaning a car for a road trip. Stafford's our designated driver. Thank you so much for that, mate. It's really kind of you to offer to take loads of us there. I'm really looking forward to going and spending some time with you guys. I'm glad you like it. Thank you. Yes, they were. I'm glad you like. Thank you. Not glad you like it. Yes, them, the Blood Angels. They're really cool, man. I like them. Blood Angels. They were the very first Warhammer thing that I ever started painting years and years ago, back in 1993, 94. I think it was 93. And then I started doing my own thing with Space Marines as well, like doing my own chapter as well. Road trip. Is that road trip or rod trip? Because I'm not comfortable with a rod trip. That doesn't sound like it would be fun anyway. Oh, I'm a little bit rushed today. I've just realised I haven't even got my phone in the holder. That could even go off. Let me just check to see if I've got that. Is it? Yep, cool. Right, that's not going to do anything. Brilliant. Oh, my goodness. Today I've also got this shiny thing. During last week, you may have seen a little video go up on Facebook of where I installed my new R9 desk lamp. I'm absolutely stoked with it. It's absolutely bomber. During the little video that I put up of me just kind of setting it up, I had it beneath the webcam, and I was thinking to myself as I was setting up, it's a little bit close to this area, and if I'm airbrushing a lot, it generates a lot of misty paint, and you can see that on my workbench here there's like an area where, despite me putting layers of protection down, the paint goes everywhere, and I didn't want it going onto a £250 lamp. But then I realised, actually, the cool thing about this lamp is it's such a good light quality that I can actually have it above my webcam where it would generally create a shadow, and it's such a powerful lamp that it doesn't create a shadow. It's a fantastic lamp. What I am looking for is feedback from you guys, because I haven't had the chance or the feedback to get the levels right. So I've turned off white balance to get the colours right. If the colours look wrong, I can put that back on. If it's overexposed, if it's too bright, if colours are bleeding out, let me know, because I want this investment to really stand out. Just going to make sure that it's at the right height. There we go. Cool. It's a wonderful lamp, and I'm stoked with it. Absolutely brilliant. Darren's joined us. Hi, Darren. Darren says, evening. Staff says, Blood Angels are the best. Just saying, yeah, he's a Blood Angels fan. Of course he's going to say that. Yep, not a rod trip. Cool. Adrian says, working on my Deathwing still. 3 Stern Guard to go, as well as modifying the paint job on 4 more Blade Guard and completing 15 Deathwing Terminators. New box set yet to arrive. Wow, you're really getting through it there. Why are you modifying your paint job? What is it that you didn't like or that you want to improve on? Is it just an old paint job, or have you come up with a better idea? I'd love to know more, and please share some photos. You can put them up on Facebook or on Instagram. You can't put them up on Instagram. You can put them up on Discord. Anyway, enough blubbering away here. Let's get down to the workbench. Here we go. So, this is my new light. Here are my hands. Here's the colour. It does like an auto balance thing. If that's not working for you, I can set it to not auto. I think that's auto exposure. I like it like that. I don't like it when it goes dark, but my monitor here I don't think gives me a true readout. So let me know feedback. Let me know if the colours aren't good. I've taken white balance off to kind of make colours go right. If I was to change white balance, so here we go. Watch this. This is auto. Don't like that. I don't know how you feel about that. My hand looks nice and healthy, but it's a bit pinky over here, I think. So let me know. And there's white balance off. Just some things to think about, right? Adrian says we'll post before and after photos later. Cheers, pal. Anyway, look, here is this wonderful King Tiger. That Stafford in the live chat right there bought me as a gift. It's a 3D print. I spoke about it loads. It's a really nice model. And I was really enjoying painting it, but I was starting to struggle with the camouflage colours. Some people were saying that they didn't like the stark contrast of the red. I do. I quite like that. This is the darker of the 3 reds that you get in that modulation set. It's designed to give you shades and highlights. But it's the green that I don't like. You can barely see that there's a green there when you consider that it goes yellow, red, a little bit of yellow, green. It's too bright. There are a lot of camouflage colours from German war vehicles that have a very light green camouflage on them, but the yellow is very, very light, very, very bright yellow, as where I've toned this one down because I wanted it to be a darker vehicle. That, in retrospect, I think is lending towards this green, not standing out. So, what I want to do is I'm going to get some new paints. Cat hair stuck to the back of the tank, because what would a show be without one? Yeah, I'm going to get some new camouflage paints. I might buy them individually. I'm not going to worry about modulation or anything like that. I just want to get a nice set of colours down and carry on this project later on. Because I don't have those now, I'm going to set this to a side. There we go. Cool. I've just seen the empty space that the Wazomatic used to occupy. But here it is. Here's my Wazomatic that was never ever in shot because the cable wasn't long enough. But last week on the show, live, it died. And we took a moment's silence. You put your little paints in there, push it down, and it goes... But it died. Such a shame. What I'm going to be working on today are these two little fellas. Now, you might recognise these, remember them from many months ago. These are my little Skitari dudes from my Adeptus Mechanicus army for Warhammer 40,000. I love these guys. I just love the idea. I love the concept of a steampunk style, Victorian-influenced concept of Martians that have really nasty weapons who just slow march across the planet and kill you. That's what they do, right? These two here have special weapons. I don't play the game enough to know which one's better than the other, so naturally I wanted all the weapons that I could have in one squad. So basically they start off with normal rifles and you can upgrade them to have this and you can upgrade them to have that. So I wanted all the upgrades because I could. This is supposed to be a plasma gun. And it's, if you're into 40k, you'll know like plasma coils are a thing. And I tried to do a plasma glow on it, and I tried, and it just didn't work. And I tried to do this on this. This is an arc gun, and the idea is it's supposed to send out big bolts of electricity. And I just wanted to do like a fun colour with a nice magenta purple thing on there. And I'm going to be absolutely honest, my glow effects absolutely suck. This is one of the things that I really want to be good at because I think it's an awesome effect. And I'm just rubbish at it. I just can't do it. And it really bugs me. It really gets to me. This is before I even step into the world of OSL. OSL? Yeah, Object Source Lighting. I thought I had the letters mixed up then. OSL. Object Source Lighting means that when I get this glow effect sorted, I can actually start having that glow appear on the actual body of him, making it look like there's a light source appearing from here, shining all over him. Yeah, as you can see here, that's just dreadful, isn't it? Look at that. That is not something to be proud of. And then this one at least looks a little bit neater. Yeah. So what I'm going to try and do today is try and fix that. Now, when I started doing these, it was because I had watched a video from a YouTube channel called The Source. I will try, if I'm allowed to create a little link. I don't know if I'm allowed to sub 1,000 subscribers, another reason to subscribe, to put up a link that comes up on the screen to another channel. I can't remember if I'm only allowed to do mine or if I'm allowed to do others or not. I can't remember. If I can link it, I'll put it up now in the far corner over there. If that doesn't happen, I will put it as a link in the comment section down there so that you guys can find it, because it's a 7-minute video. He's an incredibly talented artist and he's just got this very, very quick 3-step process to doing very, very amazing effects, very amazing effects of OSL and glow on plasma. And it's just, you need to go see it. And that's what I try to do. And I remember if I look back, I can remember when I was doing these, and I know now, why it was so rubbish. It's because I just did it so wrong. So about 20 minutes ago, I watched the video. I was like, right, now it's fresh in my head. I know what to do. So I'm going to start with this one here because I think it's got the bigger coils on it, which is going to be easier for me to kind of get that glow effect. It also has these little bulbs down the side, which I quite like. They're being like a little ammo clip, like little bulbs of energy. It's got a few little pipes and things on there as well. They've also, all the Skitari have like these glowing eyes, and I want to use the same effect in there, although they are very small by comparison. This guy here, it's just got this arc gun, and I just kind of want to create a glowing effect on the front of that. So, yeah. It's important to make sure that I've got the right colours for this as well. I've got several blues, and if I go too dark, it gets washed out. If I go too bright, it looks wrong. And one of the things that I'm going to try and experiment with today is, can I get it done with normal acrylic paints? Because one of the things that The Source does, I don't know his real name, but on that channel, he uses acrylic inks. Now, I've got one acrylic ink, which I thought I needed for this, and this is correct. This is a part of that stage process, is Liquitex acrylic ink, and I was quickly looking on Amazon just before the show started to see if I can find these. I can. They're about £3-4 in the UK, so probably about $5-6 US. They're a really, really good brand. Liquitex has got a very solid reputation, and I really like this stuff as well. You can see that it's separated from the medium in there. These are really good shake. They come in opaque or semi-transparent or transparent. This is an opaque one. That's fine. I can make it more opaque by adding thinners and things like that. And the idea is that this is going to give us the sort of the brightest sections of the lighting glow. And then from there, we're going to make sure that there's a contrast between black and white, and then we're going to spray a colour over the top. Those colours that he uses on the source program are also acrylic inks. He uses a mixture of Liquitex and Daler-Rowney. He calls them Daler-Rowney. I've always called them Daler-Rowney, but I'm sure you're aware of the brand. And he uses a green colour on his, and it's phenomenal. And his is a semi-opaque. This one here is an opaque. I don't know what it is that I'm going to get yet. I'm starting to have a little shop around for it. But today, now that I know the process solidly, I'm going to have a good go at trying to do it with acrylic paints and this here Liquitex white. Yeah, just for anybody, if anybody wanting to know, this is titanium white. I think it's the only white ink that you can get from Liquitex. It's not like there's a whole range of them. First things first is I need to give that a really good shake. There we go. Cool. Some comments going in. Stafford says, Jeff, we can do a rude trip if you prefer, or a rod trip. No to the rod trip, thank you. Rude trip depends on what's happening in that, I suppose, before I can commit to anything. Table of Horror says, I'm with you on glow effects, man, and tutorials make them seem so easy, but it's black magic, I say. You're absolutely right. What I'm just looking for is just my little sheet of paper where I spray onto it. I see it. I had a tidy up in the workshop the other day. It's still a work in progress, as it always is, but sometimes I might be like, I had to have a tidy up to put the light in place. It was bonkers. So, the first step to this process, let's put our gun man away, and let's get Keith. I'm going to call him Keith, the plasma dude. He is... Where I went wrong is that I started by just putting white over the whole coils area and then bleeding in colours in there. That was totally the wrong thing to do. What I need to do, and this is going to sound a little bit backwards to start with, is paint that whole coils section black. I know that sounds bizarre, but what that's going to do is give us contrast. What we have to understand here is, and this is because it's in a world of fantasy, you get to make up your own opinion in your own mind, and there's no right or wrong really. I know that people have made like gas plasma guns and whatever, and there's that old dude on YouTube, but whatever, who cares? This is a fantasy game. Is that the light in a plasma gun, the bright bit is inside. Right, this is what he was saying on the source, and I agree with him, and his effect looks good. Because go with what looks cool, right? So when you've got coils, you've got the raised bits and you've got the recesses. The recesses is where the heat is, where the plasma is inside. Maybe that's where the bright bits are going to come through. So that's where the white is going to be. The colour will start to translate on the top parts of the ridges on those coils. So what we need to do is we need to get a striking contrast of bright and dark. So we're going to paint all of these coils inside that gun area. We're going to paint them black. You can see that I've got some colour spill that comes sort of around the frame of the gun. For now, I'm going to leave that as it is, because what's probably going to happen is I'm going to have a couple of goes at this and I'm going to get it really wrong, and I'm going to have to repaint that gun anyway. This is about the third or fourth time I'll be painting this gun, so if I keep doing it, what's going to happen is I'm going to start losing all the detail, so I might have to wipe it down with some alcohol and start again. So what I'm going to do is paint all those coils black. I'm going to let that dry. If that takes a minute, I've got another one to do as well. Then I'm going to water down. I'm going to thin some of this stuff down. I'm going to thin it down so that it retains its translucent quality. This is an opaque one, so I have to add a couple of drops to it. Now the guy on the source was suggesting that use flow improver and not thinner. He doesn't really use thinners, and I quite like flow improver as well, so I'm going to follow his recipe. I'm just going to put a couple of drops in a thing over there. Add a drop or two of flow improver, and that will break obviously the surface tension down. I could even add a bit of transpirator I wanted to. That's for airbrush really, so I probably won't bother. I could add a little bit of water to break the surface tension down again. And the idea is that I'm going to apply it into the coil so it runs into the recesses. And that will make it look like the brightness, the heat if you like, is inside the coils. That will leave the raised edges as dark as black, and you'll have that contrast. And then you come in with a really thinned down colour and then spray over the whole area. And that spray should go over the edges of the frame of the gun to make it look like it's glowing a little bit. It should taint the colour of the white to make it look like it's a brighter version of the blue. And then where the black is underneath, it'll make it look like it's a darker bit of the blue. And his tutorial on that was just so easy, and he was just so fluid with it, that has given me the confidence to do it today on the show. So here we go. I'm just gonna freestyle this. I'm just gonna riff it out. Here we go. So first things first is I need a bit of black paint. Haven't used this for a while, so I'm gonna give it a good shake. I've got my little wet palette. No, wet palette. I've got my little dry palette on the side. I knew there was something that I was supposed to do before the show started, and I was thinking I've forgotten something. I haven't changed my paint water, so I'll have to do that later on. In the meantime, look, it's Friday. Happy weekend, y'all. And I will never say y'all again, but cheers. Have a good weekend, everyone. I've had a stressful day today as well. I was given a task at work, and it was no one's fault, but I didn't get the guidance that I needed to do a job, and there was clearly a vision in mind, and I couldn't see it, and I just stood there and I had a bit of a tantrum and threw all my toys out the pram, and like, I'm not doing it. And then my boss came over and was like, do it like this. I'm like, oh, thanks, mate. So I've had a stressful day. I'm really looking forward to just putting some paint on something and having a win. I really want this to win. I want it to happen. You guys have been talking about some success stories today. I want to have one. A Table of Horrors, man. Like, maybe if you've got your Blood Angels or something, maybe if this works, give it a try. And the thing is as well, like, you don't have to have an airbrush to do this, because you could just put that colour on with a glaze. Obviously, it's not going to be as straightforward as spraying it on with the airbrush, but I'm sure that you could get a very similar effect. And I was thinking about, you know, I was thinking about doing this in lots of different ways, and kind of like, you know, doing it my own way and adding my own style. But that's, I can't even get it right at the moment. I need to learn a way that it works properly. Follow someone else's instructions and then play around with it myself. Jeff says, buy a new Waz. I'd love to. Waz it. You can't. Oh, what? Cool. I just chucked my tools across the workshop. Literally. Why? Or are you saying, like, because I threw all my toys at the pram? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, man. I just think it's because I was tired, you know, and it just wasn't working well this morning. Okay, so I've got some black. I realise that my webcam's not focusing very well today. So if that's really bothering you, I'll zoom in and I can lock the focus in. Do you know what? I'm going to do that anyway. Let's just do that. I'm going to go in for a little bit of a zoom. I don't have much of a zoom control. Ooh, that's it. That's all I get. My resolution's too high. Where's my focus? That's pretty good, isn't it? That's alright. Okay, there we go. Just going to leave it there. No autofocus. So I might need to do a couple of coats on the black. Now, on his, he didn't have to paint this bit black because he was just doing it on a Space Marine that was built for his tutorial, and it was just primed black, and then he was doing, you know, the paint job over the top. So this is like an extra painful step for me to do. Do you know what I'm gonna do? Just to neaten it up, I am gonna paint the frame of that gun. That should just allow me to get in there with this colour. And then I can just neaten it up by going around with the silver. Simple, right? Now he did a whole Alpha Legion project with these, with this plasma glow thing that he's done, and I've seen it shows pictures at the end of his short video and what they look like, and they are fantastic. And Alpha Legion are like my favourite Chaos army. I love the whole cloak and daggers and disguises and who are they really. I also love the fact that the Primarchs are like just normal sized people and not like enormous Space Marine giants. They're they blend in with normal Space Marines. And everything's such a deception. Are they actually even dead? I think Gilliman was supposed to have killed one. Was it Alfarius or Omegon, or was it not even true? I love it. I don't think I need to do a watered down black. It seems to be working okay. I'm going to do the bulbs down the side here as well. I want them to work in the same way. Now, you remember I was just talking about an old man on YouTube who has made a gun that looks like a plasma gun, and that is a real thing. There's an older guy, should I say, not an old guy, it's a bit rude. There's an older guy on YouTube who's got an incredible grasp of chemistry and science and physics, and he's made a gun that has lots of transparent coils and some sort of gas and heat thing on the back of it, and you pull one trigger and it basically superheats some gas inside, and it spins forwards on the pull of another trigger, spins through all these coils and comes out the other end in like a big blue glow, goes boom out the end. It's fantastic to watch. But I don't think that in my brain that's how a plasma gun might look. It might look similar, but basically it wasn't lit on his gun. It wasn't lit until the thing was kind of spinning around. That was the light itself. I like the idea of it constantly being lit, and then as you fire it, it kind of does that as well. So these things are always glowing, and yeah, I like that idea. Just glowy things, right? People like lights. If you want to see a very good interpretation of what a plasma weapon might look like when it's firing, I really like the plasma pistol that is used in the Astartes fan show made by, I can't remember his name now. I never remember it whenever I need to remember it. You know what I'm talking about. It's that 5-episode stint that's on YouTube. It'll come to me later, about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll suddenly remember his name, or later on in the show, and I'll just blurt it out. But yeah, the Space Marine throws down a smoke grenade because he's being shot at a lot. Throws down a smoke grenade and then shoots his plasma pistol through it, and this big ball of energy just goes straight through, punches a hole through the smoke, and it's just a fantastic short scene. what I am going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of water here with this black, and I'm going to do just a little bit of watery paint just along the inside edge down there, because I don't know if you can see there's like a little white line just here, just where I've messed it up in the past. What I'm really trying to avoid with this whole project here is like haters in the comment section or something, or later on down the line go like, "That's what a plasma looks like." It's fancy, dude. Do it as you want. It can look like custard if you really want it to. Okay, so that bit's black there. Nice. I'm not going to worry about doing the little pipes and stuff down the side. That was just a little thing that I added on when I was trying to be clever and too big for my boots, frankly. I'm just really kind of keen to get that bit done, and then the bulbs on the side. Now you can see there's little vents down here that I kind of put some white in to make it look like that there was heat in there as well. I'm going to keep those white, and then hopefully when I get the glow blue down, they will tint slightly. That is the plan. So cool. Do you know what? I'm just going to let that dry for a second, and now I'm going to come to this one, and I'm not even going to use these colour references. I'm just going to go for it. I think that the colour I did use for that though was Warlord Purple, so I'll just put that on the side and pretend that I didn't say I'm not going to use a colour reference. Okay, so here we go. I like that colour though. Magenta is such a nice colour. Has anybody else tried glow effects out there? Have you had any success with it? Is it something that you're not very good at, or are you really good at it? I'd love to know. Tell me all about it. It's Adrian saying there, "Are Alpha Legion chaos? Can you be sure?" No, and I think that's literally the definition of chaos. So I'll roll with that. It would be good though, wouldn't it, that if they were the ultimate good guy? That would be so cool. Oh, what a twist that would be. Turns out you were the baddies after all, and the baddies were the good guys. I mean, you know, the berserkers, they're bad. We know. Blood for the blood god. We get it. That's not a good thing. Some other comments that I've just missed. Adrian says, "Pickies of original and modified blade guard paint jobs are on Facebook now, my good man." Thank you very much. I would genuinely love to see them. Jeff says, "I bet Stafford is painting all his little airplanes tonight." Oh yeah, that was such good fun, wasn't it? Kes says, "Not yet, but I am planning to." Are you talking about the glow effects? Is that something that you want to do? And what is that for? What project is that? Is that for BattleTech? Because you're into that a lot lately. But you do have some Space Marines as well. Very keen to see your progress from, like, you know, track your progress from the first attempt to the last one. That's going to need some more paint on there because I've run out. I blacken the palette, so let's just get some more of that out. Pop that there. Yeah. So oh yeah, 40k. Yeah, cool for your Space Marines. Wicked. Yes, the airplanes. So Stafford is one of my local friends. Thanks for supporting the show, Stafford. And a little while ago we went to a show. It might have even been Plymouth show that we're going to tomorrow. A little while ago we saw a box set of Blood Red Skies, and we kind of were able to see some of them models and see how small they were. And we're like, oh, this is a new game. This looks like it could be fun. And someone said to us, it's not that great. I don't really like it. And we're like, oh, okay. And we left it alone. And a little while ago, Stafford saw it in town and picked it up because it was really cheap. And for the first time, we played it on Wednesday, brought it up, and a load of us all got together, and I read the rules out, and it started off as a bit confusing, but actually it was so simple, and it was such a laugh. It was so good. to any of you who are contemplating having a go at Blood Red Skies or looking for a new game to play, go and get it. You don't need anything else other than a 4x4 table, and that's only a suggestion on the size. You don't need tape measures, you don't need dice, because it's all in the box. Everything you need to go is to go, and there's no scenery, terrain, buildings or anything like that. Literally, it's just airplanes, man, and it was wicked fun. It was so good, and my side won, which made it even better. And those little airplanes are really, really cute. And it's by Andy Chambers, who some of you older or more hardcore 40k fans will remember as being one of the original guys at Games Workshop. And yeah, really good. Really, really good. They're on little stands, and the stands move, and it's like a function within the game on how to like keep track of certain things in the game, and we had a blast. How long do you think the game actually took? Once we got it rolling, it probably took about 45 minutes, I reckon. I reckon most games would last probably between half an hour and to about an hour, maybe an hour and a half at the absolute maximum, depending on how many players and models and stuff you've got in there. The only scenery that's really in it are clouds, but because you can pass through the clouds, actually, rather than having big fluffy things on the table, they're just like 2D card things, and we didn't use those in the game. We just kind of wanted to get on with some of the basics, but I now know how to use them. It's a great time. Kind of smearing the paint off there. Okay, I'll leave that alone. Wicked. Looks quite smart, actually. Like that. Love that. Right, tea. Okay. So, I'm gonna prime up the old compressor for the airbrush, because I'm going to be using that in a minute, but actually more than anything I'm going to use it to help dry things. This paint I think is already dry, the black that I put on there, but when I'm using the acrylic ink, I think that this might take longer to dry, just because it's more watery, or you know, it's got much more wateriness, and I think that's just going to mean that it's going to take longer to dry. Table of Horrors says, I really should learn how to properly play Horus Heresy, but painting the models is so much fun and doesn't need another person there. No, you're absolutely right. It's a one-man game, isn't it? I say man, in this day and age, it should be a one-person game. I love 40k. I grew up with it. It was the thing that got me into, you know, models, really. I mean, as a kid growing up, I played, you know, with Airfix models, not played with them, but, you know, made them and painted them, and didn't really know what I was doing, but I enjoyed making a model from time to time. But 40k got me into it. But when I was doing it then, it was more about painting the models. And I knew that a few of my friends played it, and I was never really interested in that. And then one day I went along with my best friend, and I had a great time, so I then started collecting. But it always started off as the hobby side of it. But I love it. I love a game. I don't care what people say. I do get quite frustrated and annoyed when people, you know, basically bully people and give people a hard time about having a hobby such as this, where you essentially play with toys. I don't care. I think it's brilliant fun, and it brings people together, and that is such a valuable thing. I love it. It doesn't matter what it is. You can't say that you are not, that you're against playing games like this and love something like Lord of the Rings. I don't care if it, you know, if you're not playing with toys or whatever, but you're invested in the story and the characters and the fantasy of it, and that's essentially what a war game is, whether it's historical or made up like 40k. You know, it is some guys doing some cool stuff. Bullets. You know, we all play video games. Get your head out of the past and enjoy it for what it is. I think that playing games with people is one of the most sociable, fun, and entertaining things that anyone can do. And I absolutely love it. I love the fact it's a fantasy gun that fires big burning balls of plasma. How ridiculous is it? It's brilliant. Love it. Stafford says, so I may be bidding on some ME109s. You can't have ME109s without Spitfires. So get on the bidding case. Sort it out. Sorry, I'm being very unfair. Right. I would like to make this ink a bit more watery. I'm just looking at where's a good place to mix it up. I'm just trying to find like a dark pat on my palette because it's all white because someone made me clean it. But I want to see how transparent it is. I don't want it going in too opaque. I want there to be a certain amount of transparency because I want this to have little surface tension and I want it to run into the recesses on these plasma coils. Stafford says, Jeff, I can't paint the planes tonight. I left them at Danny's. He did. He left them here with me as the whole box because I wanted to read the rule book because for some reason I was the designated rules person that evening. So, yeah. Do they see? They do Mig Alley? Mig Alley? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a German player. I know, Mig's Russians. Mig Alley? What's Mig Alley? I don't know what that is. Okay, so the really cool thing about this stuff is it comes with a little pipette, so you can control exactly how much you want. I'm just going to put in 1 drop. No, I'm going to need more, aren't I? I'm going to put in 2 drops. There we go, I've got 2 drops in there. You can see it. There it is. And I'm going to want a colour. Now, the blues that I've got. Imperial blue. Too dark. Ultramarine blue is probably where I want to go with this. Because I've also got magic blue. I think that's too bright, but that might have the fluorescence in it that I'm looking for. So I think it's a toss-up between those two. And I've also got electric blue. That's too bright. I've tried that before. It doesn't look right. So I think if I just give these a bit of a shake a minute, I think I'm going to go with this one. They're going to give these both a shake at the same time. Super Sabres versus MiGs. I love Super Sabres. It was the first Airfix model that I ever painted. I love them. I think they're great. MiG Alley is Korean War. Okay, cool. Early Jets combat. Nice. Like it. I like all planes when it comes to games. I don't know anything about planes. I know some bits and pieces. You know, it's not like my knowledge with with tanks or anything where I know quite a bit now. I mean, probably just scraping the surface of what knowledge is out there with tanks, but you know what I mean. I know what biplanes are. You know, I know the difference between propeller planes and jets, and I know my Spitfires and my Hurricanes. Hurricane's my favourite. I've always liked the Hurricane. Spitfire's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I just like the frame on the Hurricane. I like it. It was a slightly more harder vehicle to pilot because I think the Spitfire made it a bit easier for people. So hardcore pilots got the Hurricanes, I think. Do you know what? Fact check me on that. Tell me if I'm wrong. Out of this world, Models and Minis. Hi everyone. Just stopped in to say hello. I'll watch the entire show on a replay after work tonight. Hi John. Thanks for stopping by. Lovely to see you in the live chat again, mate. I hope you're doing well. Haven't spoke to you for ages actually. Occasionally like on the comment section or whatever. But it's nice to know you're there. I hope you're all right, mate. Hi mate. I think this blue, not this one. What do you guys think? This one or this one? Left or right? I'm just going to leave it there for a minute because I know it takes a minute for people to kind of, type. And then there's a bit of a delay. I'm thinking this, not this. It's just got that little bit of vibrance in it. I like it. Haven't watched your video yet, John. I actually need to take a little bit of time out to watch that Chaos Defiler. Oh, we've got 50-50 so far. Stafford says right, Jeff says left. It might be that the brightness is lent to this colour by the white ink that we're going to put down. That's 2 for the left. I think that is the colour that I've got on the dude down there. I'll put these down over here. You can still see them there. Left, right. If I put them like that, can you see them a bit better? Yeah. There's a part of me that's agreeing with Stafford. I think there's a nice colour. If I open it, what does it look like? Nice royal blue. It's 2 for the right. It's 2 for the right. Stafford, you can't fix the vote. I mean, you can. You just did, but you know what I mean. Okay. Before we go into inks, I'm gonna just paint the side of that gun again, aren't I? What I'll do is I'm just gonna put a little bit of airbrush flow improver into that ink as well. I'm gonna put 2 drops in there. So it's about 50-50. I think the drops of the ink are a little bit bigger. I'll get this mixed up just to see what it's like, and then I'll paint that gun. So mix that in the palette. See, it's actually got a bit of a broken surface tension, but not that much. I might want to put. Do you know what? I'm going to put more in. Go right on the blue. It's a 50-50, isn't it? How many times can I vote? Table of Horrors has left. Adrian says the Spit was a pig to maneuver unless Spitfire was a pig to maneuver unless you were an experienced pilot. The Hurricane was a good plane for newbies. Oh, okay, so I was kind of right, but by being wrong. I like that. Okay, I think that ink is nice and watered down. Let's just repaint the side of this gun. Gonna get some chainmail here. Just a nice little bit of silver. Don't think they do World War One. No, I've not seen them do World War One. Biplanes would be fun, but you know what? I don't care. I had fun playing as a Zero. Shooting up some wildcats was a right laugh. It was really good. It was really simple. Once you got used to it, it was a great game and a fantastic time. Just put a bit of silver down to neaten up the edges of this, make it a little bit tidier. And I've just noticed that I can't stay within the lines. Do you remember earlier on when I said that I'm not very good at this? Like I said, man, I'm not very good at this. Paintbrush is fraying a little bit. That just looks a little bit tidier. It's not going to be perfect, but whatever. Okay, I'm just going to hit that with some air just to kind of dry that up. The silver does look a little bit different because I put a filter over the silver the last time. Whatever. I want an ME410. Corsair for me, I don't know what it is. I say I don't know my planes very well. Okay. Well, there we go. Let's do this. Let's put a little bit of white ink in here. I'm gonna see how that runs. Seems to be running okay. Do I want to add a little bit of water? See what happens. So what I'm expecting is this is going to run into the recesses but leave like a film over the raised areas. So I'm going to come in with like a clean but damp brush to try and remove that. And if that doesn't work, what I can do is just not flood the area with water, but just damp some water onto it to break down the surface tension, and that colour of white should then hopefully run into the recesses and off the raised areas. So I'm just going to give this a go, see what happens. Let's start in the middle because I'm against working on the sides for no reason. It's not as watery as I want it to be, so that's not good enough. Interesting. Failed already. Do you know what? I'm going to put some thinner in it. I filled up my thinner bottle this week. The shopping list has begun, says Stafford. Yeah. Let's see where that thinner gets us. That's better. Gone on a bit too heavy, but like I say, I can clean that up. Okay, just a little bit of water on my brush. Now I'm going to just try and neaten up the tops of those coils because they are tainted by the white and they're not as dark as I want them to be. I think what I need to do is make that ink quite runny, and I didn't make it runny enough. I've noticed that by trying to clean it up, you can actually make it really bad. He was really good at this whole process, and I am really quite rubbish. Okay, I'm also now going to put a little bit on the bulbs down here, and I want that colour to be in between them. What happens if I just drop a little bit of neat thinner? But I wonder if that kind of pushes the colour around. kind of use capillary action to my advantage. It sort of does, yeah. It really does. Alright, noted. Well, I hope that black is strong enough to cut through the colour later on. I think that's a little bit more white than what the guy I saw doing earlier on had. But that already looks more interesting than what I had on my first couple of goes. So I'm going to drop that there. I'm now going to make this a little bit more thinner. So I'm just going to add another drop to it. And I'm going to put it on the arc gun. Because the coils are smaller, they are thinner, therefore it'll be easier for me to ruin it, I think. I could go thinner still. Okay, water doesn't work, that doesn't look right. Actually ruins the saturation of the white. I'm going to add another drop. Liking what the thinner does to it. It's good. Okay, so that's working much better. That is really running into those recesses. Love that. Looks like a humbug. Or a barcode. I'd really like it. There's a line that runs underneath as well as around in between the coils. Try and get this white ink in there as well. Yeah, that's nice, that's good. Can I get it on this side too? Yeah, that looks okay. Is this one looking alright? Yeah, could have been a bit thinner. But you know, it's a learning curve. It's taking the time, right? Staff says... Oh, there's more comments than just Stafford. P51. Horton HO229 for me, the forefather of the F-117 stealth fighter. So just words to me. The P51 definitely did. Yep, P51 Mustang, Cadillac of the skies. There's another plane that I know. You know, Messerschmitt, Mustang, Spitfire. They're the three obvious ones, aren't they? And then MiG as well, I suppose. I've got an ME262, ME109, and a Focke-Wulf 190. I know Focke-Wulf as well. In 1/100 scale to fight with my tanks. Oh, that's cool. What fascinates me is the HO229 could have been in production in 1943, but Hitler pulled the plug on the project. Scary what could have been. You could say that for a number of his projects, actually. Yeah. All this effort for a model that will fry itself when it pulls the trigger. Good old reliable Imperial plasma technology. Yeah. Yeah. What's the fun of having a gun if it doesn't cause threat to the user? Anyway, look, we're at the halfway mark, and all I've done is put some white on some black, but it's building up to a thing. That's what tonight is all about. Here we go. Let's move away from this place. I have a swig of my tea. Cold and milky. And down the wrong hole. I'm so glad that that's caught live on stream for the whole world to see. Stop it. Stop your comments. I can see you laughing at me. Gonna go for a break. Go change your paint water. I probably won't. See you in a minute. Bye bye. pushed the wrong button. And I'm back. Welcome back. I went and changed my paint water, like a good boy. Hopefully you did too. I went and grabbed myself a grown-up juice. This time, it's a liqueur. Don't often drink liqueur. Didn't want to have a beer because I'd had a couple of them yesterday and I'm just trying to take it a bit easy. Not Bailey's, something else. That's good enough for elephants. It's good enough for me. Oh, I love that. Gonna get drunk today. Had some bad news during the break. If any of you out there are a big Apollo Creed fans, or even Dylan from Predator, Carl Weathers just died, age 76. Such a shame. Rest in peace, mate. Loved his films. Brilliant actor. Absolutely fantastic. Anyway, moving on. Back onto the projects of this evening. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that button by accident just before we went away. Got an itchy ear. It's a live show, who cares? Yeah, please do subscribe. Every subscription really goes a long way to making this show bigger, better, and just generally a more wonderful place for all of you guys to hang out. We're up to 165 subscribers. I would absolutely love it if we could make it to 170 before the end of February, because we're just into February now, right? 2nd of the month. Yeah, cool. This year's going fast already. Yeah, I absolutely agree with Table of Horrors. What a young age too. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I grew up with all of his movies when I was a kid. And they influenced me, you know, all the way from back then. Predator being my favourite. I absolutely love that. Absolutely brilliant film. I just love that handshake right at the beginning because it's just unnecessary. There's no need for that bicep flex at all. Just fantastic. I loved it. So, all right, do you know what? Here's to Carl Weathers. Thank you very much for a wonderful childhood of fantastic action movies. Anyway, yeah. That's cleaning in the tash. Subscribe. I would love it if you did. Please do. So, during the break, not only did I go and change my paint water, I also filled up my water bottle because I had no water in there at all. My airbrush is still going strong. I've got the black on the guns that I want to do. I put some white between them. Hopefully now that's dry. What I've got to do now is spray a little bit of that white ink, really watered down so it comes as... It comes out translucent, and it doesn't come out as a really stark, just this is a white area. I want it to have a slight misty effect, and then that, when I put the colour over the top, should make it look glowy. Got a lot of practice to do. Nightwolf RC just saw this pop up on my feed, decided to drop in and check it out. Welcome to the show. Absolutely brilliant to see a new member, the community coming along first time. Thank you very much for coming along and seeing what it's all about. I genuinely hope that you find something worth of value, entertainment, or just company. That's what this show is all about. It's about the company, painting models while you're painting yours, because let's be honest, we've all got piles. I say it almost every week. We've got piles and piles of stuff. I've got it all around in the workshop here. You just can't see it. It's all just kind of out of shot of stuff that we just don't get around to before we go and buy the next thing because it's really cool and we're really easily swayed. And I want the new thing. I haven't painted the old thing. It's about getting through your big hordes of plastic grey stuff. Now, before we started really this evening, I think it was Table of Horrors said to me right at the beginning of the show, I'm playing around with magnets for the first time, and I said that after the intermission I would get out my old Dreadnought from 40k that I magnetised together, and this is going back a little bit. The paint looks really good, it's okay for what it is, but it is going back some years before I started pushing myself as a painter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to the workbench now and we'll have a look at it. I'm just going to cut the old compressor out there, no need for that. So, here is my Dreadnought. What? He's got no arms? You're absolutely right, he's got no arms. And there's a really jolly good reason for that, because on the shoulders here he's got some magnets, and I wanted him to be able to have all the weapon options that you can have. Back in the edition that's this Dreadnought, I made this Dreadnought, there were so many different options you could have for each arm and then guns on those arms, and it was a bit bonkers. And to have them all, ideally you needed to have every single Dreadnought chassis with all of those weapons. But I wanted to be able to go, I want one Dreadnought, this time I want laser cannons on him, this time I want missile launchers on him, whatever. So I painted up as many of the arm sets as you possibly could get for him. Nightwolf RC says, I am new to painting miniatures, so I'm unsure I will learn something, lol. Yeah, man, I'm not new to painting, and I'm still rubbish. So maybe you won't learn anything. It's all about the company, mate. Maybe you will. These guys over here in the live chat, they know their stuff. Here's a bag full of stuff that I painted. Let me just tip all of these out on the table. Fantastic. So the standard setup is an assault cannon, big old minigun, click, and a power fist. Click, that's what we all love and know, right? If you want to, this little storm bolter underneath this arm can be swapped out with a little flamethrower. It's got little magnets on there that kind of go into the fist area here and into the feed up there, but I realised that they don't need to be magnets. I spent ages trying to get magnets mounted inside. Don't need it, just need pins. It holds it in nice and tight. If you want to have something really cool, I always call this the anti-aircraft dread, because two matching autocannons look awesome, especially when you put them up at an angle like that. That looks so cool. Sick. If you want the standard heavy weapons platform dreadnought, of course you can go with las cannons, missile launcher. And the best thing about it, of course, as well, is they're kind of articulated to a degree as well. Love that, absolutely brilliant. And then my favourite is the Inferno cannon. It's a beast, isn't it? Combine that with the power fist and take the little storm bolter out. There we go. Go into this little mini baggie over here. Open it up. Pop the little pipe in the top up there first. There's a little pinhole underneath. Push that in. There we go. Heavy flamer. This one, never used it as an Inferno cannon. That was a Forge World. I think it's a Forge World model, but I used it as a twin-linked heavy flamer because that was the option back in 4th or 5th edition, maybe even 6th edition. So this was a heavy flamer. This was a twin-linked heavy flamer. I remember the players getting quite irate the fact that because you used the template at the time that this flamer would stick out further. I was like, all right, I'll do it from over here then. But I would use this in a drop pod, drop it in behind people's armies on the first turn, because drop pods don't scatter, just comes in and flame throws everything up, and then it can charge you with its power fist and destroy units in its first turn before you've even got to roll a dice. So yeah, Fear the Dread. I love this model. I love the plastic dread. I love the old style dread. I do have not the Contemptor, I can't remember what it's called now, but the new Primaris Dreadnought. I really like that model as well. He is quite a bit bigger, and it is a model that I do plan to do on the show at some time. So yeah, that's my magnetization effects here. Love that, all these extra bits and goodies and whatever. There is one weapon option missing from all of this, and that is the multi-melter. The multi-melter actually is a weapon back in the old days that was the primary weapon option for the Dreadnought, and it never ever ever came with it. It always got the assault cannon. So these things here, these are Forge World. Those bits there are the original model. This is a Forge World thing as well. And it never came with a multi-melter unless you got the Blood Angels Furiosa, which had two of them, or had that in the claws. So I've got multi-melter for it. I just never painted it up because I only realised after I painted all these that I was missing it stupidly. So maybe one day, as much as I believe in keeping your old, paint jobs, maybe I'll redo him. Maybe, it'd be quite nice, right? Even in death, he still serves. Yeah, I love this guy. He was the cream on my list. He really was. Yeah, and I just kind of keep all these weapons here. They're all varnished really, really well, so they could just all go in like a big plastic bag together, so I don't kind of lose them everywhere. That isn't my only magnetising effort. I'll pop these over here a second to get him out of the way. I've also got, I love this model, I love the design of it. Sometimes Games Workshop gets something right, is the gunship. Storm Talon. I take him off this flight stance to fit in the frame a little bit better. You can see what I mean by my paint job back in the day. It's literally a base colour, a heavy stain, and a dry brush, and it works, doesn't it? It works, but it's not a glorious paint job. I wanted to keep the insignia, limited. I didn't necessarily believe it had to be over the top. Yeah, it moves. So that's how I identify between going into hover mode or into jet mode. Love that. Got cannons underneath that rotate. That's fine. But you can have 3 different weapon sets on the sides on these pods. You could have heavy bolters for like anti-heavy infantry. You could have las cannons for anti-armor, and then you got these. I think they're called Skyhammer missiles for a little bit of best of everything. So I magnetized these as well, and these are really, really heavy duty. These are really clunky. They've got some really big magnets inside in there, and they were really easy to fit as well. And when you put these on, listen to this. Yeah, they got like a real nice clunk. Love that. Just squeeze them on, and they're really sturdy. Like you can actually like give it a good old wiggle. They're not coming off at all. Really, I'm actually putting quite a bit of effort into that. Yeah, I love it. Love all the engine thrusters underneath him. Just a brilliant model. I like this the carrier version. I can't remember what that's called now. It's been such a long time since I played the Space Marines. The slightly bigger version of this one, but I don't like the middle of it. It doesn't look like it carries enough people. But there are 3D prints out there that you can get to kind of increase the chassis size of that, and I think it makes it look like a much better model. But yeah, that was my little attempt at magnetization. I always wanted to magnetize, put him on the stand, but there's no need because he slots in there just fine. So there you go. That's my attempt at magnets. Cheers. Furioso is just what I finished. He's Castra Ferrum for Horus Heresy. Cool. Don't know what that means, but it sounds awesome. Right. Back to these guys. Some white on black. Not really happy with how that turned out, but I know that I've got to just thin that paint down. This one came out much better. It's a little bit patchy in some places, but whatever. What I'm going to do now is get the airbrush, and I'm going to make another solution of ink and thinner. I'm going to make sure that it's really thinned, and then I'm going to spray just a tiny amount of misting in this area here, so just kind of around the outside of the gun. I've got to get this right. If I don't get this right, I ruin the paint job underneath. And while on this guy here, it doesn't matter so much because I've just kind of repainted the gun frame. It matters a little bit on this one here because it's got all the wood and the brass and everything on there. So I'm going to do it on this guy first, and and hopefully I get it right. Now on the source, the show that I learned this from, he actually did a little bit of spray on the body. I'm not going to do that yet until I'm confident I can get the glow on the gun. And he also kind of just brushed in a few hard lines to make it look like the light was really catching in some areas. I'm not going to do that yet because I just want to make sure that I get this glow effect right. I'm going to try it on this side, and then on this side, and then I'm going to colour it. And I think that the paint is dry now. I'm just going to run my brush in there. It's dry. There we go. Got my spray sheet here so that I don't spray all over the table. And you guys were saying before the break there was one more vote that went for a slightly darker blue. That wins it, so here we go. Not going to do blue yet, of course. Have I got a little dish here for mixing the paints? Have I got any clean ones? Have I got any clean ones? I don't. Okay, I'll do it in the palette then. I'll do it in the hopper rather. So I'm going to do it in here. Okay, so those 2 drops of this ink went really far earlier on, and I'm going to do even less with them now. So what I'm going to do is just put in one drop of that. Do you know what? I'm going to do a tester, aren't I? Anyway, I'm going to like spray it all over the sheet. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to put in 2. Can't resist it. Okay. Now I'm going to put in some thinner. Where's my thinner? What have I done with that? It's right in front of me. Silly boy. How many drops of thinner did I put in earlier on? 3? 4? If I put in 1, 2, 3 drops of thinner, because the source prefers Flow Improver, and I like what Flow Improver does, I'm going to put this stuff in there anyway. Like I said, he doesn't use thinner, he just used Flow Improver, but I got really good results from the thinner earlier, so I'm just going to put in 2 2 drops of flow improver. It really does improve the flow of your paint. So I'm going to use it. And I'm just going to mix it all up in there. And I'm hoping that comes out quite transparent. I don't want it to be opaque. I need to have control of it. I'm looking to see how it's kind of playing around on the sides of the hopper, and it's not thin enough. So they come in with some more thinner. Boop. There we go. That's running a bit freer in there now. Excellent. Okay, so on the source, he wears black latex gloves. I lose about 90% of my dexterity through my fingers if I wear gloves. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to test it on the blackness of my gloves. So I'm just going to test it out on the sheet here. We've got some nice dark colours, so hopefully we should be able to see how well this plays. Okay, so the flow, I've given the airbrush a really, really good clean since last week as well, and the action on the airbrush is probably as good as it's ever been since the best it's ever been since I bought it. Just making sure that I've got a good handle on how to control it. What I'm getting is a slight amount of spatter, and that spatter I think is coming from between pauses. So I pause, I get a little bit of build up on the needle. And then when it blows again, I could get a little bit of spatter. And what I'm looking for, can you see that? If I do it over here in this area, I'm looking for the slightest, most faintest. That's what I'm looking for. It can't be anything more than that. And I'm just going to go for it. So here we go. Wish me luck. Thanks. Yeah, unfortunately I can't get any closer with the zoom on this, so you have to deal with it being this far away, but I'll bring it up in a second so you can see. Just going to test it out on the side there. Okay, do you know what? That went well. It doesn't look like anything's really happened here, but I can see the slightest subtle effects, and that's worked. Okay, cool. Trying to go around the bulbs now. Testing it out on my thumb. Bit heavy, but okay, that's fine. I can work with that. Nice. Nice and gentle. Okay. I'm pretty happy with how that went. I've lost a little bit of the starkness on the black, but you can still see it there. So gonna put him down for a second, let that be. I'm actually quite happy with how that went. I'm happy enough to actually spray OSL on his body, but I don't know how it's going to look when I put the colour on it, so I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to come to this guy here. Let's do him as well. Oh, I'm losing a little bit of pressure because I haven't got the compressor turned on. That's why I'm getting spatter there. Let's just wait for the compressor to come back up. Take a sip of my drink. Cheers. Oh, that's so tasty, and it's got a little bit of a kick to it. Love it. Okay, here we go. So now on this guy, a bit out of focus there, I know. Let's see how it goes. And on top. Okay, do you know what I should do? So I probably should check on top of this one as well. That looks alright. I could probably turn the pressure down the compressor for this, because it's so thinned. Still got loads in the hopper as well. I'm really tempted to do OSL on him, but I'm not going to do it. Not yet. Let's just get rid of that. It's really fun though. I am really enjoying myself. I know I haven't done an awful lot in the hour and a half, whatever it is I've been on. I've just like done some black and white stripes essentially. But it's great fun. I'm having a great laugh doing it. Okay, just gonna clean the airbrush out. I could really do with emptying this purge pot as well. Right, stick a bit of water in here. Nice. Just give this a second. How is everybody else's projects going this evening? I haven't asked that since the beginning of the show. If you're working on something this evening, what's happening? How's it going? Is it going all right? Is it doing well? Have you got a problem? Maybe we can help. Or maybe you're doing really well and you just kind of want to celebrate. That's cool. Okay. There's that. Move that out of the way. It's time to go for some colour, right? So, we've got the two blues. We decided to go for ultramarine blue. That was the one that you guys decided on, and I'm with you. I think both of them would look really cool, but I think that this is the better choice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make this opaque, because it's not an ink and it doesn't have the qualities that some inks will have. I could put some thinner with it. I think that might help. What I have got is transpirator. Now I'm going to try and make this about 75% transpirator. And I'm going to add a bit of thinner in there as well, just to kind of give it that flow. A bit of thinner, maybe some flow improver too. And hopefully I can make a glaze out of that. This is exactly what this is for, is making glazes. I just need to agitate it. It's got an agitated ball in there. And I'm going to shake this at the same time, because why not? I don't have my Wazomatic on. It's going well, just slower than I expected, says Kez. What's making it go slower? You said that you were doing your new clan. I can't remember what clan it was you said you were doing. Did you say Jade Falcon? Did you say Jade Falcon, or am I making that up? You were doing a new clan. What's taking so long? Staffer says I've broken my Tigger. I've managed to snap the barrel off. Bum. Oh mate, I know. I've got a Hellcat that I accidentally broke the cannon on, and now like the muzzle's like hanging off, a bit of a weird angle, and it's making me very, very sad. Yeah, you can glue it. You'll be fine. Just maybe put one piece on the table, pop a little bit of poly cement, and then just kind of slide them in and connect them, and that might be like an easy way of doing it. I did, trying to avoid painting areas. I plan to paint in yellow. Okay, yellow is doesn't have the pigment content to, go over darker colours. Green's also terrible for it. Green was always the worst as far as I remember. But paints have come a long way in a short space of time. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 drops of this. 1, 2. I definitely think this is the colour to use. Ultramarine blue. I'm gonna add. Can't do 75%, can I? Do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to put a drop of thinner in there. Just because it was working for me earlier. Don't turn your nose up at a good thing. Right, where's my mixing brush? There it is. It's not as thin as I'd like it to be. Oh, it's pretty thin. It's pretty thin. Okay, cool. Wash that off. I'm using Army Painter Speed Paint Shamrock Green, and it's looking great. Staff says, oh, I've got a gangster tiger. It's got a sawn off. Of course it has. Okay, so here's a blue. Here's some white. It's not dried yet. If I blow it around with the airbrushlet, hopefully I'll get like a dry area, and we can see how this blue reacts over the top. So on a dark area, we get a nice colour coming through. I love that. On the white, we get a little bit of light blue. Okay, this is the colour to use. This is it. So what I've got to do now is make all of that white go blue. Yeah. So it's going to take my time. This is it. This is the day where I pack in glow effects. Not transparent enough. That's what I'm getting here. Okay, do you know what? Maybe I need to use an ink for this. Maybe I need to use an ink. I'm going to do 2 more drops of transpirator and another drop of thinner. I'm going to put another 2 drops of thinner in. I don't care. I really want this to work. Mix it. I hate painting yellow. I hate painting. Thanks for coming along to the painting club, guys. That's better on that side there. I might reintroduce some white back into this in a minute, because we know that I got that mixture right. It's almost there, isn't it? It's almost there. I've got such a long way to go with this technique, clearly. I'm glad I decided not to do OSL. I think if I got inks, it will go better. Put a bit more white on there in a minute and see what that does to it. Do you know what? It looks better than it did earlier. If it wasn't for you, I still have a load of unpainted tanks, says Staff. Cheers, mate. I appreciate that. I think it's because I'm using an acrylic paint and not an acrylic ink. You can see how thin that is, look. Okay. I'm going to move to magenta now. I'm going to do the art gun in the same way. Now, I remember, nearly knocked my purge tank off the table. That would have been a disaster. I remember when I was painting them originally that I actually had more luck with the magenta. And I think it's just because it's a nice brighter colour. So we'll see what happens. What's the betting that dies with its first shot? I mean, it's a plasma weapon. It's almost gonna happen, isn't it? I know it's 1 in 6, but when was the last time that you never rolled a 1 when you were playing with plasma weaponry? Okay, so the paint I used for the purple was Warlord Purple. I like it. Just going to give it a good shake. It's a nice colour. Yeah, I think as nice as this colour is, and it is a nice colour, I think I think I need to use like an ink. I think, yeah, that's what I think I need to do. Or maybe this blue is better. I will add a little bit of white ink onto it though. That might give it the brightness, might make it pop again. Maybe I need a fluorescent. Yeah, maybe I need a fluorescent colour. Jeff says, but now you have a load of unpainted airplanes. Alright, Jeff, leave it out. I've had a few times. I've had a few times this evening where I have gone, oh, I missed a spot. Then no. Yeah, man. We always miss things. Okay. 1, 2 drops of purple. It's a really stark color. It's almost a pink, isn't it? Crazy. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 drops of thinner. And I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go crazy with the thinner. Sorry, the thinner, the transpirator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want it to be transparent. Let's mix that in. May have some more after tomorrow. You know you're going to get more planes tomorrow as well. He's referring, of course, to the Plymouth War Game Show. Yes, he knows. If he doesn't, I'll actually be disappointed with him. I had such a great time. I'm going to be looking for them as well. Okay, a quick colour test, flow test with this colour. It's a beautiful colour. I love it. Yeah, okay, do you know what? I think this is going to be more successful. It's going to go on here, onto this gun. Probably, says Stafford. Okay, here we go. Already much easier colour to work with. I think it is just a brighter colour so it looks nicer. I've actually got a little bit on his hand and on his cloak, and I'm not upset with that at all. I think it looks quite nice. That looks 10 times better than I ever made it in the past. Happy with that. I will take photos of these as well, like I always do, so you'll be able to see it on Facebook. If you're not already on Facebook, go and click on the links to all of our platforms just down there in the description of this video, so that you can go and join us on any of those areas if you want to. You can share photos of the stuff that you've been working on tonight, or just in general. Facebook's a very active area of the community. I've got quite a swirl of colours. It's very retro over here. Loving that. Oh, that's a Bob Ross advert if ever I've seen one. Yeah, so go stick photos up of all the stuff that you've been putting up, and I'll put photos of these guys as well, so you can see them better than on this, small screen. Right, just going to clean the airbrush out because I always forget to do that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water through it a second, and then I'm going to add a little bit of white, just a tiny amount of really, really thinned down white ink back into the grooves on those guns, just to make the colour pop a little bit, just to make it look a bit brighter. And I'm hoping that'll really make the difference on that blue one especially. Excuse me. I've got quite the croak today. Bit of a cold coming on, I think. Early days, but it's still there. Okay, so itchy ear. Right. Pop you there. Pop you there. This is where I drop them into that. Do you know what? I've said it now. Let's move that away. Shut up. Right. One drop of ink. Don't need that much. 3 drops of thinner. Don't need the transpirator, that's for the airbrush. I'm going to leave it there for a second. I'm just going to mix all that in. There's a little bit left over from when I had that mix at the beginning of the show. You guys can't quite see that, can you? So here we go. Nice and runny. I might even add another drop, but to be fair, at this point I'll do flow improver. I want it all to be thinner. There we go. I want to make it super runny, and I want a really, really tiny brush, because I think what my problem was at the beginning is that my brush was too small. So perhaps that's another thing that I can look for tomorrow at Paul's. If I don't see it there, then of course I'll just buy it on Amazon. Got my 0. I need like a 00 and a 000. Okay, got a nice fine point. Here we go. So I'm just going to take my time. I'm going to read this comment. Jeff says, tomorrow I need 15mm scale palm trees, 15mm minis for pics, and World War I stuff in 28mm. Sounds cool. We'll go shopping together so we can keep an eye out for each other's shopping lists. Have a great time, I'm sure we will. I think what I'm doing now is I'm actually in danger of ruining this, because this doesn't look like it's working for the blue. It is not. I know that we can add like a thin layer of white at the bottom to kind of make it look like it's got a bit of reflection going on down there. I just don't think I'm good enough for that. I'm almost there with it, you know. I'm almost there. It's not as I'd want it yet. I think what the ink is going to do is provide me with some intensity of colour, which is what I need, but it's also going to have the translucency that I need, and I'm not achieving that translucency with the paint. I've got a small amount of intensity, which would be increased if I was to put more paint on it, but if I put more paint on it because it's so opaque, I'm just losing that transparent effect, and I need that transparency to cut through the colour. If I put white back on top of it, I'm just losing the effect entirely. Such a shame. I'm going to try mixing in a medium with it as my last attempt, and I'm not going to do that on the blue. I think the blue is a lost cause today. I've had much more luck with the magenta here. Actually, it doesn't help with my hand in the way, does it? That looks much better, but I just need that on the edges. You can see I've just gone in a little bit heavy in the middle, trying to create a bit of intensity, and again, that's probably because it's a paint and not an ink. I'm halfway there with the purple, I really am. It's a really nice colour as well. I am just going to add a little bit of Lamium Medium just to kind of give it a glaze quality. I think you need inks tomorrow. It's my main thing that I'm looking for, along with the German camouflage colours that I need to finish off the King Tiger. I'm just going to put in a whole load of this stuff. I actually really like medium. You can get some really good effects with it. And it's essentially exactly what that transpirator does in the airbrush. And it creates a nice glaze. What it does is it takes the pigment, spreads it out, but it doesn't lose the surface tension that water will provide. Water will make it all kind of pinch up into one area. And I've tried that obviously, and it's not working very well on these models. Trying to do, you know, the goal that I've got in mind today. So I thought, well, I'll just stick a little bit of this in there and just see what it does. I'm just going to put a little bit at the bottom. It's not even coming off the brush. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can get it. Looks like a graphic equalizer now. And what that has done, of course, is just ruined the entire effect. Oh well, do you know what? Look, I'm gonna wash that out. Hopefully. Away with you. One of the things I think that would make it easier to learn on is a slightly bigger gun. These miniatures are really quite small, and the models that were being demonstrated by the source on that video that I watched before the show are the new Space Marines. So that in comparison, they're like this big, and their guns are enormous. They're carrying these huge guns, and I think that a slightly larger gun gives you slightly more definition in the ridges and the recesses between them all, and that just makes the ink flow a little bit smoother between them all. I'm not searching for excuses. There still isn't the effect that I want. That is totally down to me. But you know, there's only so much technique of dropping a little bit of ink's going to come into play. So just like Jeff says, I think you need inks tomorrow. He was using exceptionally fluorescent inks, which I think gave him the vibrancy of the colour. Inks, he was also using semi-opaque. I'm using opaque paints and opaque inks. So that's definitely what I need to have a look for tomorrow. If I can't find it there, of course, I can find them online on Amazon. So yeah, here we go. Now I've got a purple art gun. It looks better than it did. I really like the glow effect around it. It's just the coils that I'm worried about there. The glow effect, not so good. The coils, yeah. We'll see how it goes. I'll give it another go once I've got some inks. Fun to have a go with that though. I'm going to come away from here. I'm going to make sure that I get the right button. Let's move away. It's a couple of weeks in a row now I've hit the wrong button and ruined my own show. Where's my drink? Here it is. I've had a fun evening. I was actually a little bit stressy last couple of days. I've been really tired. I've been doing a lot of work. I've been doing a lot of running, as a lot of you know. Trying to get some fitness back in my middle-agedness. Saying middle-age makes me feel older than if I said old age, so I'll be careful how I phrase that. But doing a lot of running. I'm up to about 60-65 miles in my 1,000-mile challenge. It might seem that I've got a really long way to go, but I've got a whole year to do it in. But the fact is, I'm running consistently. I'm doing really well. I've got a mild leg stress injury, which I'm trying to look after. But just the amount of times that I'm going out a week, the amount of distance that I'm putting in every time, I'm just tired a lot. So I've not got a lot of time to think straight or actually do much prep work here. And I thought that the King Tiger project would have me going for a couple more weeks. But last week, the colour was really stressing me out. I've kind of got the vision in my head and how I want it to look, and that green was just too bright. I know that there are some really bright greens in camouflage, but I wanted that particular model to look so much darker. So one of the things I'm going to be looking for, as I've already said now, is some dark camouflage colours for German war vehicles, and hopefully next week I'll get straight back on top of that project. I have an Amazon Prime account, so I know that whatever I buy through Amazon will be there within a day or two. So if I can't find it tomorrow, I'm going to get straight on Amazon and have a look. At the same time, I'm going to get some inks for these guys, because that's a project that I think I can really get involved in. Once I finish the King Tiger, this isn't a project that I'm going to carry on. This is just a filler for this evening, and I'm glad that I had a go on that because it was really good fun. I've got so many projects on the side. I've been given so many lovely gifts recently by some of you viewers. Thank you so much for that, by the way. Like, there is no expectation for me to receive things from you guys. I don't do the show for that. I'm literally here to paint my models and to give you guys some company while you get through all your backlog as well. But I graciously am grateful for all the gifts that you've given me. I've got tanks pouring out the wazoo. Thanks to Overlord, Grant, thank you very much, mate. I've got Tyranids everywhere, again from Grant, because I bought some surplus stock from him from Overlord Games. Of course, my friend Leslie, who hasn't been on the show for a little while, he gave me a whole box of old Tyranids that I've been stripping down and redoing and painting up. I've got loads of Adeptus Mechanicus that a friend of mine who was moving house and had a big life change. I've got loads of that stuff as well. Basically, in short, I've got enough. Here's 4 or 5 projects that I'd really like to start, and then I might put up a poll on Facebook. I know the show is all about me just kind of getting through my stuff and you getting through all your stuff, but there has to be an entertainment value to go with it as well. And if I'm just doing the same old stuff all the time, it's not going to be fun for you to kind of watch or listen to while you're painting your stuff. So I'd like you guys to have a bit of an input, if you want to, as to what I paint next. So you guys, when you see that poll, I'll make sure it goes up on Facebook. I'll make sure there's plenty of time, and then you guys can get some sort of choice as to what I paint next. So yeah, there you go. If you've got any ideas for the show, if you've got any feedback about the quality of the show or what you'd like to see, do let me know. Drop it down there in the comments, put it on Facebook. But the more you can put, the more you can interact with YouTube, the more the algorithm starts to change. And we already know this now because we've got a new person that's joined us tonight. Hello, I hope you're enjoying it, by the way. And he just dropped in to see how it's going. I love that. That's great. That means what we're doing and what you guys are doing is working, and that's fantastic. So thank you very much. I genuinely mean that. Let's get to 200 subscribers. Let's get to 500. Let's do 1,000. Let's see where it goes. I know that I'm like pushing my luck a little bit, but you got a dream. Do the big thing because it's cool, right? Do the hard thing because it's hard. So keep sharing. Keep the subscribers coming. If you haven't done it already, please subscribe. It would make my day. It would make my world if you subscribe. I really want to get to 170 subscribers by the end of February. I know we can do it in a couple of days, but you know, I'm being realistic and not trying to be pushy. So yeah, I can see that people are putting photos up on Facebook already. Thank you very much. That's great. Yeah, the more you interact with the YouTube show, the better the algorithm is. So don't forget to thumbs up every video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Share the word of Easy 8. Get it out there so people know. By putting a comment down there in the comment section, it helps. It gets the algorithm. Who knows how the algorithm works? I just know that works. All hail the algorithm. Some comments going in. Stafford says, when are we going to get Easy 8 back banners to where it shows? I don't know. It took me a year or 2 to get these sorted out, these hoodies. If you want one of these, let me know. Jeff says, and dice. We always buy dice at a show. That's a whole separate subject, right? I could talk for hours on dice. Yes, we always buy dice. It's a tradition. I love it. When I was a kid, we didn't have an awful lot of money. Jeff, my dad, hi dad, would be able to tell you. And we just played games and we just did whatever we could. And it was like, you know, just rolling dice and moving things around, and it was fun. Dice always remind me of fun when I was a kid. They remind me of fun when I'm an adult. All the games that I play, most of them have dice in it. And dice is just a cool thing. They're tactile, they're fun. There's an element of gamble, there's an element of game, and you know, it brings in the randomness in a game, right? I love dice, and I collect them. I don't have like a collection to go, oh, this dice is from 2001 or this dice is from 1974. I just have lots of them and I love them, and they've all got their own purposes, and sometimes they're just nice to have. So I always buy a new dice or a set of dice whenever I go away. Probably could fill several drawers with them now. If you're an orc player, definitely have a chat with me. Jeff says, painting with cats. Ha, yes. I've said this before. If you can get me to 200 subscribers, I'll let my cats in the studio. Yeah. I don't want to. They eat everything. They eat the cables. They go behind the curtain, and over there where all my USB cables are, and I hear chewing. One day I'm going to hear chewing and there's going to be an explosion. They literally pick my models up, take them away and eat them. That's happened before. Some of you guys in the live chat will know when we've played war games in the past. If we're playing with tanks, I'll come up, jump on the table, pick up a tank and run away with it. That's going to happen in the show, but I will let them in. If you get me to 200 subscribers, I'll let them in. I don't know how long I'll let them in the studio for, but I'll let them in, alright? You should paint My Little Pony themed Space Marines army, and that's going to be a strong no. Painting with cats gets my vote. Yes, that's more like it. Amarula. Love it. Anyway, it's been a great filler evening while I sort out a project that needs some addressing. Clearly, I still need some practice on this. I'd love to know if you guys are practicing OSL or glow effects. Let me see your results. Don't be ashamed if they're, as good as mine. But if they're really good, I want to see them. I want to see everything. So if you're working on a project this evening, take a photo of it, stick it up on Facebook if you're so inclined. Links to all of our platforms down there. There's links to loads of places and people and whatever that shows that does everything that we want it to do, like be painting, providers, terrain builders, just cool YouTube shows, everything all down there. And if you can find other people that you like, websites or YouTube shows off, let me know. I'll go check them out, and I'll put links down there as well. It's about sharing, right? It's what it's all about. Thanks, Danny. Good show. No worries, staff. Thanks very much for coming along. Table of Horror says, thank you for the show. Take care. Have a great week, everyone. I'm going to head over to the Discord now at the Easy 8 After Party. Link down there. If you want to come and have a chat with me, please do. After that, though, I'm going to go get myself an early night because we're going to Plymouth tomorrow. I'd love to see you there. Look out for the logo. You'll see me and some of the community there. Until then, take care, be safe, be kind, and keep on painting. And I'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye. One day I'll get this lighting effect thing. Stressing me out. It's been a stressful week. I'm just a bundle of stress.